le futur. You already know one way of expressing actions that will occur in the near future, and that's le futur proche. The futur proche is formed by taking a form of aller plus an infinitive to say that somebody is going to do something. For example, elle va attraper un poisson. She's going to catch a fish. You can also express things that are going to happen in the future by using le futur, or the future tense, which in English uses the word will. She will catch a fish. We will take a stroll. To form the futur, you take the future stem plus future endings. So let's take a look at the future stems for regular verbs. If it's a regular ER verb, like parler, attraper, discuter, you're just going to use the infinitive plus the future endings. If it's an IR verb, again, you'll just use the infinitive plus the future endings. For verbs that end in RE, you take the infinitive minus the E, and then you'll add the future endings. All future stems end in the letter R. In fact, it's that letter R that makes the future tense stand out as far as pronunciation goes. The endings are the forms of the verb avoir, with the exception of the nous and the vous forms. So let's take a look at the verb parler in the future so that we can see what the endings look like. So the stem of parler in the future tense would just be in the infinitive parler. To say I will speak, je parlerai. You will speak, tu parleras. He or she or one will speak, il, elle, on parlera. We will speak, nous parlerons. You all will speak, vous parlerez. And they will speak, ils or elles parleront. So you could hear the R sound that's very obvious before those future endings. And all of the future endings are the forms of avoir, with the exception of nous and vous, which is just the ONS ending and the EZ ending on the end of the infinitive. Let's take a look at the verb attendre, to wait for. The future stem is attendre without the E, so we take away the E. To say I will wait, j'attendrai. You will wait, tu attendras. He or she or one will wait, il, elle, on attendra. Nous attendrons, vous attendrez, ils attendront. So the forms of avoir, with the exception of nous and vous, which is the ONS ending and the EZ ending. Let's take a look at a couple example sentences. I am going to study is an example of le futur proche. We have our form of aller and then the infinitive. Je vais étudier. But to say I will study is the future tense. J'étudierai. So you have the infinitive plus the avoir ending to say I will study. Let me also mention that verbs that have spelling changes in the present tense also have spelling changes in the future. So, for example, the verb acheter. If you remember, it's a Snoopy verb, and you add an accent grave in all of the forms besides the nous and the vous form. So in the future, that stem will have the accent grave. J'achèterai des nouvelles bottes. I will buy new boots. Or the verb lever, same thing. You add an accent grave in all of the forms except for the nous and the vous form. Nous nous lèverons à 5 heures. We will wake up, or we will get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Now in French, there are several irregular verbs that have irregular stems. So this is a list that we're going to need to start memorizing the irregular stems for. The endings are going to stay the same. It's just the stem that we'll have to memorize. So I'm going to fill out this chart so that you can write the future stems into your notes. The future stem for the verb aller is ir. And then you'll attach the future endings to that. For avoir, it's or. That's the letter U. Devoir, devre. Être, ser. Faire, it's pronounced faire, but spelled differently. Pouvoir, pour. Venir, viendre. Voir, vers. and vouloir, voudre. On the end of each of these stems, you'll attach the future endings that are the same as for every single verb. We just have to memorize this list of verbes irréguliers. That does it for le futur. Au revoir les élèves.